All right, deep dive time. Today we're going all in on crypto, specifically this crypto deep dive report from January 23rd, 2025. You know, the one you sent in wanting all the juicy details about what's going on. We've got Binance going AI crazy, some government making a huge Bitcoin move, and even owning uranium, but like with pocket change. Get ready, it's going to be wild.
Let's break it all down.
Okay, so the report starts with a snapshot of the entire crypto market. It's a little bit, well, it's dipped a bit, but trading volume is going bananas.
That's a really interesting contrast. It could be that people are optimistic but still cautious, or maybe it's those big players, the whales, making big moves without anyone knowing.
Oh yeah, the whales, always out there. The report also mentions that stablecoins are everywhere, but DeFi is still hanging in there. What does that tell us about what's really happening?
Well, stablecoins, the ones tied to something stable like the US dollar, are really popular with investors who don't like too much risk. They're looking for safety when everything is volatile.
So it's kind of like when there's a financial storm, they're putting their money in a digital savings account.
You got it. And then there's DeFi, decentralized finance, which is still getting a lot of attention. Remember, this is about creating financial tools and services that are on the blockchain, so we can cut out those traditional middlemen like banks.
They're like the rebels of finance. Shaking things up. I like it. Now let's talk about the king, Bitcoin. The report shows it's up a little bit today. But get this, China just sold $20 billion worth of Bitcoin that they seized.
Oh yeah, that plus token thing from a while back, that huge crypto Ponzi scheme where the Chinese government took billions in Bitcoin. Looks like they're cashing out.
$20 billion? That's a lot of Bitcoin. No wonder the market is reacting. This brings up a lot of questions about what governments think about crypto. On one hand, they're obviously recognizing how much it's worth by selling it.
But then on the other hand, a huge sell-off like this might make investors nervous. It could have a domino effect on the market. This shows how tricky it is to balance government involvement with keeping the market stable.
Definitely. So now let's look at the altcoins. The report highlights some big winners and losers. XDC network is doing really well today, and it seems like those tokenized trade finance solutions are catching on. What's behind this surge?
Well, think about it. Global trade has so much paperwork, middlemen, and waiting around. XDC network uses blockchain to streamline all of that. And by tokenizing, you're basically bringing real assets, like actual products and services, onto the blockchain.
So it's all about making things more efficient and transparent, getting rid of unnecessary steps.
Exactly. And that's super appealing to businesses that want to improve their supply chains and lower costs.
It makes sense. Now remember Fartcoin, the one that went crazy last week. Looks like the party's over. The report says it crashed today.
Ah, those meme coins, they can change so quickly. It reminds us that getting caught up in speculation can be short-lived. What goes up must come down, especially in the crypto world.
Good lesson for sure. Let's talk about one of the biggest headlines. Binance Labs is getting a makeover and focusing big time on AI.
This is big news. Binance is a giant when it comes to crypto exchanges, and Binance Labs, their venture capital arm, is going all in on artificial intelligence. This shows a shift in the industry, a recognition that AI could be the key to even more potential in the crypto space.
To make things even crazier, the report says that CZ, the CEO of Binance, is back in the game, mentoring all these AI startups.
That says a lot. It means Binance is fully committed to this. They aren't just testing the waters, they're diving headfirst into AI.
Okay, now get this. The report mentions tokenized uranium. Tokenized.uranium.
Yep, you read that right. A company called uranium.io is working with Transact to split up ownership of uranium. They're letting investors buy smaller pieces, like tokens. Imagine taking something that used to require millions to invest in and opening it up to everyone.
So instead of needing a bank vault full of cash, you could invest in uranium with like $100.
Exactly. And here's what's really cool. Uranium is, well, a big part of nuclear energy. By tokenizing it, you're basically making it easier to invest in and potentially shape the future of this important resource.
It's like giving everyone a chance to be part of the energy sector. That's huge. Let's go back to something a bit more familiar. Ethereum. The report talks about their latest upgrade, ERC 7779. It sounds very technical, but what does it mean for the everyday Ethereum user?
Imagine it like a software upgrade for the whole Ethereum network. It's about two main things. Interoperability, meaning different blockchains can communicate better, and smart accounts, like super accounts that can do complicated transactions automatically.
So smoother interactions between blockchains and smarter accounts that can handle more complex tasks. Sounds like a win-win for both developers and users.
You got it. This upgrade could unlock a whole new level of functionality for those decentralized applications. And speaking of big predictions, the report mentions Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, and his super bullish outlook on Bitcoin. He thinks it could hit $700,000.
Wow, that's a bold statement. What's making them so optimistic?
He points to a few key things: ongoing worries about inflation, all the geopolitical uncertainty in the world, and Bitcoin being more widely accepted as a safe place to store value. Even with the US dollar being strong, it feels like people are looking for other safe havens.
So Bitcoin, with its limited supply and being decentralized, is becoming more appealing to those worried about the traditional financial system. It's interesting how traditional finance and crypto are becoming more connected. You've got institutional investors like BlackRock making big predictions about Bitcoin, and you've got blockchain being used to split ownership of things like uranium. It's like these two worlds are merging.
It's an exciting time to be in this space, that's for sure. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The report also brings up some security worries, reminding us that this is still a bit of a wild west in a lot of ways, like that news about Ledger's co-founder being kidnapped and Phemex stopping withdrawals because of suspicious activity.
Definitely a reminder that security is paramount in the crypto world. We're dealing with real money, and there will always be people trying to exploit any weaknesses. And then there's the report mentioning that crypto donations to extremist groups are increasing in Europe.
Right. The same things that make crypto great for legitimate reasons, being decentralized, easy to send across borders, and private, can also be used for bad things.
It's a double-edged sword. It shows how important it is to stay vigilant and keep innovating in the security space. But hey, on a brighter note, the report says OKX is making progress toward following regulations in Europe.
Yes, they're taking steps to meet those MiCA rules, which is a good sign for the industry. Regulation, when done right, can build trust and legitimacy, making it more likely that people will use it.
Absolutely. And talking about mainstream adoption, the report mentions a bill in Kansas that wants to put 10% of state retirement funds into Bitcoin ETFs. If that passes, it would be a huge change in how institutions view crypto.
It would show they really trust Bitcoin as an investment, and that could have a ripple effect on the whole crypto world.
We've gone through a lot in this deep dive. We've seen the good, the bad, and the amazing possibilities. From market trends and AI-powered innovation to security concerns and regulations, the world of crypto is always changing and full of energy. But what does it all mean for the average person? What does the future hold for those who invest in and innovate in this space?
Those are the big questions. We don't have a crystal ball, but this deep dive has given us a glimpse into the huge potential and the challenges that are out there. One thing is for sure: crypto isn't just for a small group of people anymore. It's becoming more and more a part of our everyday lives.
That's true. From how we invest and manage our money to the tech that's shaping our future, crypto is playing a bigger and bigger role.
This report really highlighted some of the key things driving this change. We saw how market ups and downs are still a major factor. Things like China selling off a bunch of Bitcoin affect the whole system.
But even with those ups and downs, we're seeing more signs that big institutions are accepting crypto, with players like BlackRock making big predictions about where Bitcoin is headed.
Exactly. And the possibility of clear regulations. Like with OKX working towards meeting those MiCA requirements in Europe, could make it even more mainstream.
Then there's AI coming into play. It could completely change how we interact with crypto, from trading and investing to creating new and amazing applications.
And don't forget about investment opportunities becoming more accessible. With things like that tokenized uranium, we're seeing blockchain open up markets that were once only for the wealthy.
This deep dive has been a whirlwind tour of the crypto world, from the thrilling highs to those reality checks.
But at the end of the day, it's about innovation, disruption, and the potential to reshape the financial world as we know it.
So as we wrap this up, I'm left with a big question for you, our listener. As traditional finance and crypto become more and more blended, what does the future hold for investors and innovators?
That's the million-dollar question. I may not have all the answers, but I think the key to navigating this exciting and often unpredictable world is to be informed and curious.
Informed curiosity, I love that. It's about staying up to date with everything new, asking critical questions, and approaching this space with a healthy bit of skepticism and a willingness to learn.
Exactly, because the future of crypto is being created right now, and the people who are actively involved, constantly seeking knowledge and understanding, are the ones who will shape where it goes.
Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive into cryptocurrency. We hope you've learned some valuable things and feel inspired to keep exploring this fascinating, ever-evolving space.
And remember, the world of crypto is never boring. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the topics that matter most.
Until next time, happy investing.